Pokemon Sword and Shield, the first Gen 8 game, and I've got a good feeling about this one. And it's a region based on the United Kingdom, where I'm from. Well, that's just offensive. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the series that has been going through each Pokemon game to find out the all-important question, which one is the best? What was the best feature, and which were just really fun? Pokemon Sun and Moon were under the magnifying glass last time, their Ultra counterparts, and Let's Go. It was mostly positive.
I don't want him to have a hairstyle. I don't want him to have glasses. Just stop it.
But if you missed it, you'll want to catch up. Make sure you're subscribed and supporting the channel, but don't forget to hit the bell so you know when the next episode is live. As I said, Sword and Shield is up next, and Game Freak decided to shake things up and make this the best Pokemon game ever. So what did they do to achieve this? Well, to start from the very top was a whole new Pokemon catching experience, the wild area. Instead of just having a lot of routes and caves for you to go through to find Pokemon, which is still included, the wild area covers most of the Galar region and is where you get all your Pokemon. It's split into several sections, different Pokemon appear in each section and have different weather conditions day to day, which affects what Pokemon appear. For example, intense sun makes more fire or ground Pokemon appear like Growlithe or Mudbray. Heavy fog makes psychic Pokemon appear like Ralts and Munna. This meant that catching Pokemon wasn't just a matter of walking through a section and hoping to get the Pokemon you want. You could plan and strategize, and if what you're after isn't there, you gotta wait a day, making the experience longer. Also, Sword and Shield took one of the few good things from Pokemon Let's Go, and that's Pokemon appearing in the overworld. You might think it makes the game easy as the mystery is gone, but I disagree. You still have random encounters if you approach a rustling bit of grass, but the excitement of seeing a Golett and running after it, it was second to none, and this gave life to the world of Pokemon. Regional forms made a return as well. Obviously new forms for Pokemon that adapted to Galar. These weren't just first gen this time. We had Yamar, Zigzagoon and more. Also, this was the first region where Pokemon with Gallerian forms now had new evolutions. Sirfetch'd, Mr. Rime and Obstagoon only evolved in their regional forms, which was pretty cool. I loved Alolan forms, and as I said in the last review, this is the way forward for Pokemon. Glad to have it back, new and improved. But I know what you're thinking, what's the gimmick battle mechanic this time? Did Z-moves stay? Did they come to their senses and realise that Mega Forms were the better feature? Sadly, no. They introduced something called Dynamaxing. Basically, using some special power in Galar, Pokemon have the ability to become really big. Yep. You heard it right, they just become really big. It only lasts 3 turns and all your moves are these huge displays of power. The final twist is that certain Pokemon have a special form when Dynamaxing, and this is known as a Gigantamax form. It looks cooler and that's kind of it. They get a special move sometimes, but I didn't see it as a big deal. The issue with the feature was like Z moves, it wasn't clever or tactical. Whenever you fought a gym leader or any significant character, they would always Dynamax their last Pokemon, so obviously you just do it at the same time. So really the odds of the battle haven't changed, you're just bigger. It was disappointing. Dynamax featured as a part of the side game where dens in the wild area would emit a beacon where you could connect with friends and others online and take part in a max raid. This worked like Pokemon Go raids where you would fight a big or Dynamax Pokemon and at the end have a chance to catch them. This was a cool feature. I didn't like Dynamax as a concept, but I liked that Game Freak regularly released events where certain Pokemon would appear in the max raids. A cool way to play with friends, and it captured the same energy as Pokemon Go. However, if you thought Pokemon and Me was gonna go away, guess again. It's back and they changed it. You know when you play Pokemon and you think to yourself, this game is nothing like the greatest game of all time, Cooking Mama? Well, don't worry, Game Freak hears you cooking fans loud and clear. In Pokemon Camp, you can set up a tent, play with the Pokemon in your party, and also cook for them. You can use berries found from shaking trees and other ingredients, and you gotta fan the flame and stir the pot. Why is this part of the game? Well, it serves as a few things. First off, it replaces the affection increase minigame. You can also achieve rankings for your cooking, and the biggest thing is it can restore your party's status conditions, heal them, and sometimes revive them. And you can gain XP. Sorry Nurse Joy, looks like the Pokemon Center is going to go out of business, now you can heal for free on the go. The issue with this, like I seem to keep saying, is it's too easy. If a Pokemon dies while I'm out adventuring, I don't have to go back into town and get them healed, or think ahead with potions. Not only can you heal yourself on the go, but the number of people en routes that heal your Pokemon is too many. Not to mention how friendship and affection are the same thing, and they give the same bonuses as affection did. Now it's super easy to get your Pokemon to dodge moves, survive hits, and shake off status conditions, so you'll never lose a battle. XP is being handed out at every opportunity. You make some soup, have some XP. You catch a Pokemon, have some XP. One of your Pokemon defeated a trainer's Pokemon, your whole party deserves XP. Make it a challenge, make it a grind. Routes in this game were fewer because of the wild area taking up most of the region. Fair enough, but I kinda hoped that the few routes would be tough. Instead, there were no obstacles to overcome, no boulder puzzles, no rocks to smash, or even so much as a waterfall to try and climb. That's been removed from the game. Even in Sun and Moon they had the Poke Rider that fulfilled these tasks. Now they just don't exist. These caves were a breeze, especially because you can see all the Pokemon and avoid them. Not like the old days with the top-down view. You could see an upper level but didn't know how to get there, so you had to move the screen along to explore. Because of the 3D view, everything was in plain sight, with no mystery or even hidden areas. It was such a shame because getting from place to place was now very fast, and so the game was super quick. One thing to appreciate from this game was TMs. They're still unlimited, but now they've introduced technical records, or TRs. TRs were one use only. You had to buy one from the shops or people around the wild area. Some of the more powerful TMs are now TRs in order to make it harder to give your whole team Blizzard or Thunder. The lesser moves stayed as TMs. This I think redeemed a feature which was almost ruining the point of picking a certain Pokemon because you could just give every Pokemon the powerful moves. This took it back a bit and made it good again. So let's talk about the story here. What's going on? Well, you know, Pokemon Master, blah blah blah. You and your best friend Hop go together to choose your Pokemon from his brother, Champion Leon. Hop picks the starter weak against yours, which still sucks, but the cool twist is Leon takes the other one with him. So when you fight him to become Pokemon Champion, he uses that starter, so your starter is weaker for the final battle. I loved it. It was a really nice touch so that one of the starters doesn't get totally abandoned. The gym battles in this were based on huge football stadiums. Being that football came from England, it was a cool touch, but further than that, the Pokemon Championship worked like a football tournament. You would go against a random choice of gym leaders and key characters from the game. So the replay value was huge because you could fight random gym leaders and others. A nice way to put a twist on the championship. It made up for the plot of the game, which was pretty much the same as Sun and Moon. The person that wants to help the region ends up bringing its destruction and being evil. Not exactly original. There's a lot to be said about this game and I could go on, but I'll leave it with the fact that this game did good. Regional forms were great, wild area and overworld Pokemon were great. Sure, some things were gone like route obstacles and the game was still very easy, but I felt like I could really enjoy this game again. And it was great to see some of my favourite Pokemon in amazing graphics, but that does bring me on to the feature which completely ruined the game for me. Game Freak announced that Sword and Shield would be the first game in the Pokemon series to not include a national dex. How dare they? It happens every time, and now I can't transfer all my Pokemon from previous games. Why? You see, Game Freak said that they wanted the graphics in the game to be the best yet. Animating every single Pokemon that's ever existed takes up time, and they wanted to focus on the graphics of the game. I can understand that decision, if the animations of the game didn't look like this. Like, it's the legendary of the game, why not make a bespoke turning animation for this moment? It looks crap! If the game had flawless graphics and animations, I'd let them off the hook, but this is inexcusable. This really disappointed me, more so than any other lost feature so far. Game Freak made a mistake, big time. The good news is that Pokemon Sword and Shield doesn't end there. I'm not talking about the post-game, that was atrocious. You just run around fighting Dynamax Pokemon in gyms. We get it, Dynamax is the greatest feature to ever exist. Except it's not. Pokemon Sword and Shield released DLC 6 months after its initial release, the Isle of Armour and the Crown Tundra to come in November. The first game in the series to release DLC. So what was it going to be like? New outfits? New Pokemon added to the regional decks? Or maybe some brand spanking new ones? Let's dive into the Isle of Armour. This was interesting because people felt cheated by the £25 price tag. Like I mentioned, the post-game was lacking and fans felt this was an add-on to that, but we had to pay for it. My opinion was, for £25 you got some new stories, new Pokemon from previous regions, and just a few more missions to do. Kinda like what they would do with Platinum or Black and White 2. Same game, but with some alterations. But with that, you would pay full price for a new game. With this, you at least only paid a bit and you didn't have to play the game from scratch again. So what's it all about? You're invited to train at a dojo off the coast of Galar to test your strength and become stronger. You have a new rival who varies depending on if you have sword or shield. They're jealous of your skill and want to take you down, but don't worry, it's easy. An issue with the DLC coming out 6 months after the initial release is I've played the game and I've been training my team up to level 100 for hyper training. They do scale the wild Pokemon and battles differently depending on if you complete the game or not, but it's capped at level 60, which is the level I was when I completed the game 6 months ago. They need to take it further and cap it at my Pokemon's level so it's hard. At the dojo, you have to do 3 trials to prove you're worthy, a few little fetch quests, a bit straightforward but was made to force you to explore the new island and see all the new Pokemon you can now find. After these 3 trials you are given a new Pokemon, Cub Fu. He's a cute little boy, and you make him your friend, which you do by making him see new locations, again, forcing you to go around the island. But the other thing is, the Master of the Dojo allowed you to have your Pokemon follow you. One of the greatest features ever made is now back in stunning 3D, but this lovely feature won't forgive the fact that this DLC has a lot to be desired. Once you and Cub Fu become friends, you have to take on the Tower of Water or the Tower of Darkness. This will determine the form of Urshifu. It's a cool little option to make, but here's the bit that makes my blood boil. Before you can do this challenge, you are recommended to get Cub Fu to level 70. You only got him minutes ago and he's level 10, so now I've got to grind the Championship League until he's level 70? Once you do one of the towers, there are a few fetch quests with Hop and a fight with Master Mustard, which is easy because all of my Pokemon are way higher than level 70 by this point, especially with the Cub Fu grinding, and that's really it. There are some extra tasks like restricted sparring, in which participants are limited by the types of Pokemon they can use and are forced to battle under set conditions, also being able to use Apricorns to gain special Pokeballs, but that's all the DLC had to offer. Now I see why they made me train Cub Fu from level 10 to 70, they just used it to pad out the DLC. The majority of the plot focuses on Dynamaxing. I really didn't care about the Dynamax feature, so this did nothing for me. This wasn't the best way to introduce fans to the idea of DLC, who already hated the idea of paying for more game. The story was lacking and yeah, had a few nice features, but not sure it was enough excitement to say brand new DLC. But the DLC didn't stop there. 6 months after Isle of Armour was released, we had part 2 of our DLC package, Crown Tundra. And don't worry, it's better than the last. Crown Tundra is all about exploration, and you get that for sure. The Crown Tundra has 2 things to offer: max lairs, which are, as you can guess, Dynamax related. A max lair involved you and a few NPCs, or friends if you connect online, choosing a Pokemon from a selection and taking on Dynamax Pokemon, and eventually taking on a Dynamax Legendary. These are of course from all the previous games, and it's a fun way to get your hands on Legendaries. Getting to play with friends is just great. I'm not a Dynamax fan, but this was so much fun I forgot about hating the whole Dynamax thing. This guy here is the other part of the DLC. He wants you to explore the legends of the Crown Tundra, which allow you to catch some new and sorta new legendaries. The first legend is the major story of this DLC, and it's about the legendary Calyrex who needs his noble steed. In order to find it, you must lure it out by planting his favourite type of carrot. The problem is, Calyrex doesn't remember what it is, so that big brain was all for nothing, huh? This opens up another option in the game. You can choose to plant your carrot seed in either a graveyard or in the snowy mountains. This determines what kind of carrot you get and ultimately which legendary steed appears: Spectia, the ghostly horse, or Glastia, the icy horse. I'm really starting to struggle with these names and how to pronounce them. I just used to go by the anime.
Alakazam!
Well, that's a bad example. A lot of stuff happens. You fight the horse, you make some rains, and after all this, Calyrex manages to ride the horse once again, and his power is restored. Yay! What this long story means is you get a chance to fight Calyrex and his horse together and try and catch him. It's a hard challenge, which I like, because by this point in the game you could have a level 100 team, but when it comes to catching legendaries, sometimes too high a level isn't a good idea. So this was a serious challenge, and I feel like the legendaries in Sword and Shield lack the weakening and catching them trope. That pure joy you get when your Pokeball closes is just amazing, and I love this amazing legendary catch. Fortunately, once you complete this mission, there are 2 more legends Peony wants you to check out, which means more legendary catching. One mission is about these strange temples around the Crown Tundra. If you solve the riddles, most are pretty easy, you can go into the temple and the Reggies will appear. Once again, you have to catch them, but there are 4 temples. Curious. This temple is split in 2, and that is because once again you are given a choice, and it's about which new Reggie you want: Regieleki or Regidrago. With these cleverly disguised names, it might be hard to know what type they are, but I can tell you that they are electric or dragon. This was fun. Adding a new legendary made it all exciting, and on top of this, having all of them, you could then get your hands on Regigigas. It was simple, but I really enjoyed exploring the tundra looking for temples, more so than the Isle of Armour. Peony has one final legend for you to check out, and it's all about the legendary bird Pokemon. I know what you're thinking. Really? Just older legendaries? Why is this a good thing? The answer is twofold. 1, these birds are Gallerian forms, and they are badass. 2, they are roaming Pokemon, the feature that has been missing in Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield. How does that work in the wild area? Well, as you're travelling the areas, they appear. You'll see them flying, and you have to book it and go after them. I don't know what you thought about this, but it felt so cool chasing after the legendaries. It felt real. I loved going after them and trying to get their attention. Not to mention the new types to keep you on your toes. I was just getting so pumped for legendary hunting. Although those are all of Peony's tasks, Sonia wants you to research some footprints around the place too. It's pretty basic. Find the first one and then walk slowly to get all the others. But once this is done, you can track down the Swords of Justice trio. Yes, I know there's a fourth, but you can't get him until you do the first three. Long story short, Crown Tundra is a lot of legendary hunting, which was absolutely needed. There was basically none in the main game, so this was great. The max layer also meant that the fun could go on for a while. I mean, there's been a lot of legendaries. Out of the 2 DLCs given to us, this is by far the best, no contest. And once you complete both and have completed the main game, there's one final bonus challenge for you to take on, and that's the Gallerian Star Tournament. This multi-battle tournament allows you to team up with and battle against trainers encountered in the game, including all the gym leaders. Nothing major, but a little bit of fun with multi-battles. It kind of felt like the Battle Frontier thing. It's the Battle Frontier. I missed that joke. I think it's fair to say the DLC was alright overall. Whether you class it as its own game in the series is up to you. I think if you put it next to Sword and Shield as one game, it would be massive. It saved a lot of issues I had with the original game, so overall Sword and Shield is one of the better games in the series. But is it the best? Before we go there, Gen 8 isn't over. Far from it. We still have to cover a remake, and I looked into whether Pokemon Legends Arceus is considered a mainline game, so I'll have to cover that. But we're already about 15 minutes in, so in order to not have this video too long, this is going to have to be a two-parter. I know, maybe not what you want, but don't look at me. Game Freak are the ones that decided to jam-pack Gen 8 with games. So will these games hold a candle to Sword and Shield? Will they come out on top as the best game of the whole series? Only one way to find out. Check out the next episode of the series soon. Thanks for watching this video. Yeah, another big episode, and we only covered one game. Make sure you're subscribed so you know when part 2 comes. Like the video and let me know what you thought of Sword and Shield. Where could they have improved it? See you next time. Bye-bye.